A very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on UBC TV. My name is Sophie Matovu and you're watching U Health Chat, proudly sponsored by National Medical Stores. Now today on the show tonight, we are going to talk about a little bit of a different topic. We have seen them coming around in situations of when there's a crisis. We have seen them come around and the distinct color of jackets they wear is red, and that's the Uganda Red Cross Society. But we never seem to understand what exactly their role is, and when there are other situations you never get to see them, but you visibly see them in the communities when there are situations of emergencies. Since I'm not the expert to talk about it, with me in studio is none other than Osbat Serugo, who is the brand manager of Uganda Red Cross Society, Kampala. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Madam Sophie.
How are you?
I am fine, thank you. Glad to be here with you.
Okay. Now, to start with, it might be, of course, some might have not had an opportunity to even see you, and they just hear stories, and like you say, we commonly see you when there are huge emergencies. The landslides in Buzdooda, the what, but at other times we never get to see you. Some people even actually think you're a medical team. Who is Uganda Red Cross Society?
Thank you so much, Sophie. Good evening, viewers. My name is Serugo Osbat. I am the branch manager, Uganda Red Cross Kampala Central. I sit at National Headquarters, Rubaga. I again take this opportunity to thank the management of UBC to host us tonight. And I'll go straight to the question, who we are, the Uganda Red Cross. The Uganda Red Cross, we are a local or an indigenous humanitarian organization in Uganda. Actually, we are the biggest, the largest indigenous humanitarian organization. And the Red Cross has its history way back in 1863. That is when it was formed. I may not go back to when it was formed and who, but I'll go straight to Uganda. In Uganda, the Uganda Red Cross started in 1939. 1939, when we were still in the hands of the British colonial masters. It was started around Entebbe Airport by a group of humanitarian women. Women living around the Entebbe Airport started it. So it started as a small group, humanitarian, a small organization of humanitarian, a small group of women around the Entebbe Airport started the organization. Then in 2 years, in 1941, the British colonial masters, who were in Uganda by then, taking over leadership, took over it and named it a branch of British Red Cross. What does that mean? That implies that in Britain, they had already started their own Red Cross. And now seeing women starting it here, they adopted it. So by 1941, it became a branch of British Red Cross. Going forward, in 1962, we got independence, and the British colonial masters went. And in 1964, the Parliament of Uganda recognized the role of the Uganda Red Cross, and we were made an auxiliary role to the government in providing humanitarian services. Since then, we've been here, and we are the Uganda Red Cross. We have 51 branches across the country, and in Kampala we have 5 branches. Each division is given a branch office, has a branch office. This is why I sit in Kampala Central as my area of operation as a branch manager. But if you go to Makinde, if you go to Nakawa, if you go to each division has its branch. And across the country we have 51 branches. The Uganda Red Cross, as I said earlier, we provide humanitarian services to Ugandans and everyone living in Uganda.
Now, when you talk about the humanitarian services, what are those? Because like I said, for us, we normally think about it in terms of when we see you and we know you have ambulances, we are sure medical issues are sorted.
Oh yes, we provide a wide range of humanitarian services, including, I'll mention some of them. One is disaster and risk management. I know that's where you would want to hear much because you're mentioning this and the other, Kisoro. So we do disaster and risk management. We try to manage disasters whenever they occur. You have said you have seen us in Kisoro, you have seen us in Mbare, you have seen us in Bududa, we've been to Kasese, we've been to Wundibujo, everywhere around the country. Whenever there's a disaster, we are there. We try to make sure that these people who are affected with floods, with landslides, we give them this psychosocial support, but also give them support to cope up. We try to do some cope-up mechanisms to make sure that people continue with the life that they were living in before the disasters happened, by giving, for example, non-food items to, for example, if floods swept away the utensils of our families, we try to give them some mattresses, some food, so that people can continue with life after floods. But we don't sit down to wait these things to happen and then we go and intervene. We first create awareness. We have communities that we work with in different parts of the country, in different districts. We work with DDMCs, district management. We work with volunteers, we work with members. These ones help us in one way or another to prepare the minds of communities. We have technology that we have established on major rivers, for example in Kasese, on upstreams, that we are able to detect that floods are likely to happen. And therefore, we warn people that please, you can shift and go in safer places. Then after floods, you come back. When people listen to us, they shift. But when they don't listen to us, what happens, and we come in to support. That is DRM. We also do blood donation. This is one of the major elements that people would want to hear about. Blood donation. As Uganda Red Cross, we do blood donation with the blood bank, supported by the Ministry of Health. Our role is to mobilize communities, to sensitize, to create awareness of the need to donate blood. We tell Ugandans that, look here, there is a crisis of blood. We show Ugandans the essence of donating blood. Then the blood bank, for them, they do the bleeding. The Uganda Red Cross mobilizes, creates awareness. Then the blood bank or Uganda Blood Transfusion Services, they do the bleeding. And now, blood is taken to the blood bank. It is screened, prepared, and then sent to hospitals. If you allow me, I would also love to tell Ugandans that we have a challenge of people complaining to us that blood is being sold here and there, but we are aware about that vice. But as the Uganda Red Cross and the blood bank, honestly, we have always come up to appeal to everyone, whoever is asked for money, to come to us and we help out. That vice is there, we hear it, but we are trying to find out whether it is true or not. But as the Red Cross, people give us blood for free. We also give it to blood bank gives it to hospitals for free. But whatever happens there in the hospitals. But I would appeal to everyone that you get to understand that blood is for free. Nobody should ask you money in exchange for blood. Must you be asked money for blood, please call us on our toll-free number that I will give later on, and you call us, we help you out to get blood for free.
Then what about the bit where they say that priority is given to those who have actually donated blood before? In case they have a relative who needs a blood transfusion, you give them top priority vis-a-vis the others who've never donated before.
That's not true. We give blood to whoever is in need. The only advantage that is here is that we have situations where you find that probably now, like students are the holidays and the students are major blood donors, and there may be a crisis that you need a particular group which may not be available at the blood bank or in the hospitals, and you have a card. We call them ABO cards that we give after donating. And when you have that card, it identifies you as a blood donor. And when you present it either in hospital or at blood bank, we try to make sure that we rush and you get blood. But even if you have never donated blood and you come to us, still we shall come to your rescue. We have tentative blood donors who are regular suppliers of blood to us. Still, whenever there is a crisis, we call upon them and they come up and donate blood. So it's not true that priority is given to those who have cards or who have ever donated blood. So other than blood donation, we have social and health services. This is another department of the Red Cross, but now that entails the medical personnel, those who did in a crisis of pandemics and epidemics, the outbreak of Ebola, the outbreak of cholera, the outbreak of COVID-19. We have a medical team that is responsible for doing surveillance, that is responsible for guiding how things must be done here and there. I also want to take this opportunity to talk about the fact that it's true the Minister of Health has come up to say that Uganda, we are kind of free from COVID-19, it's no longer a threat. But we have people in communities who were not vaccinated. And as the Uganda Red Cross, supported by the government of Uganda, we are still doing vaccination. We have a project that is called Saving Lives and Livelihoods. It is supported by African CDC. We are also doing it with AMREF. So we are still in communities in Kampala and other districts in Uganda. We're doing it in 9 districts to find out if there is anyone who was not vaccinated, but they would want to be vaccinated against COVID-19. We can't take it for granted that now we are COVID-free and those who are not vaccinated should not. So we are continuing to appeal to create awareness as the Uganda Red Cross to make sure that whoever might have not been vaccinated can get this time and now get vaccinated and be free from COVID-19. So other than that, we have other services that we give to Ugandans that we call the restoration of family links. What is the restoration of family links? It might sound new to you, but also we do it. It is
sounding new.
Thank you so much. So we have people during times of crisis, during times of disasters, during times of wars in the neighboring countries, people lose connection from one another. For example, a family left Congo. Upon reaching Solo, the father went to Nachivare, the mother went to Chaka, and the children went to Changwari. You see, the family has been disintegrated. As the Uganda Red Cross, we have trained staff who do what we call tracing. They connect father to mom and the children. This is why we call it restoration of family links. Oh yes. Among other things, we do first aid, training to communities, to members of the public, but this is done at a cost. We do first aid training, but also provide first aid services at public functions. At Kororo, you saw us where when KCC organized the Car-Free Day, we're here at Parliament recently when there was a parliamentary walk against malaria. We provide first aid services to public functions. But again, those who are traveling outside, those who would want to get skills in first aid, they come to Uganda Red Cross. And we train them and we charge them some small money. It is the only service at the Red Cross that is given out at a cost. But the rest of the services are for free. And of course, we do this as part of our resource mobilization to be able to provide services to Ugandans.
Okay.
Oh yes.
Now that brings me to about like 2, 3. Okay, let me just pick off one of the questions first. Now with all the services that you say you offer, you're not medical personnel, but you have gone, creating smaller teams to focus on some of the specific areas. Where do you get your funding from to support you, given that the major bit or component where you expect money is only from those first aid trainings, but the rest, do people pay for membership to become part of the Red Cross Society?
Thank you so much for that question, Sophie. But I wanted to come to that later on, that bit of membership.
You pay membership?
Yes.
Now, in terms of the medical, the services that you offer, because like right now, there are so many medical interns, I'll give an example, who are there. And now you are also doing or supporting, say, like when it came to the pandemic bits, do you also support when it comes to vaccination of the others, like the children's vaccination programs? Does Red Cross come in on board, or it's only on the issues of the pandemics?
Like I said, the Department of Health and Social Services is responsible in times of pandemic. But when it comes to vaccination of, for example, the killer diseases among children, still we stick to our law, mobilizing communities. Our law is creating awareness, mobilization, to make sure that people are aware of the need, for example, to get vaccinated against polio. We've done that before, even this year around Feb, together with the other partners like KCCA, Ministry of Health, etc. There is some other critical component that I cannot leave out that we do as the Red Cross, that is emergency response, responding to emergencies. As the Uganda Red Cross, we respond to emergencies like road traffic accidents, RTA. We respond to fire outbreaks, collapse of the buildings. You saw us here when we had the bomb blasts at CPS and Jubilee building. We do that with the support of the ambulances. We have ambulances that were given by the government and the Ministry of Health to help us to respond to those emergencies, as you can see on the screen. These ambulances are standby and work 24/7. We have a call center at the Uganda Red Cross. We have a toll-free number that every other time you call it, whether at midnight, whether at 2 a.m., whether at 5 a.m., our team responds. You direct them where you are and what is the nature of the problem. We dispatch an ambulance to come and rescue. You can reach us on our toll-free on 0800 211088. That is our toll-free. Anytime you call that number, we come out to serve you well and save lives. However, those ambulances that we have that were provided by the Ministry of Health serve Ugandans for free. But we also have other ambulances that are for hire.
As Uganda Red Cross.
Yes, that brings back to the question of how do we run. The other ambulances that we use for hire, they are ours as Uganda Red Cross. We use them as part of resource mobilization, that if you hire it at 600, for example, that money is going to go to the account, and when the people of Mbare make an alarm of floods, we go to the account, get the money, buy stuff, buy fuel, and go to Mbare and respond.
Now, how do I see a conflict of interest somehow? Because I mean, the ones for free and then the ones for hire.
Yes.
Now, the ones for free, how do you manage? Who fuels them? Who takes care of all those? Because at any one time, people need the support and the help of the ambulances.
Yes, those that are for free, they are fueled or supported by the Ministry of Health still.
Okay.
But those that are for hire, of course, the maintenance comes from the money that we get from the public. Those who are used by, for example, you have a function, a private school has a function, a school gala, a sports gala, and then you would want a standby ambulance. You have a crusade, you would want a standby ambulance. Then you come to the Uganda Red Cross, then we do business there. We give you an ambulance for hire. But these ones of the Ministry of Health are for free to the public. They were here during COVID-19, and after COVID, we are still using them to respond to emergencies as they occur.
Okay.
So partly there, that is part of what we do. I've not finished all, but I've at least trying to bring out exactly what we do. And also on the part of disaster management, we are trying to put down trees, to plant trees. You realize that all these floods we are seeing in Mbare, we are seeing in Kasese, we are seeing in today you saw River Katonga outbursts cutting off Masaka from this side, in Kasese, in Bunbujo, they are as a result of climate change.
True.
Man and woman in trying to get what to eat, we have encroached on wetlands. We have cut down trees in order to get firewood and charcoal. this is partly why we are seeing all these disasters one after another. So as the Red Cross, we are trying to agitate for climate change. And we're in partnership with the Kachula Sugar Works. We are planting trees in different parts of the country, especially in the Elgon region and other areas, so that we combat this effect of climate change and we bring back everything to normal. That as part of mitigating disasters within Uganda. You see, we are going an extra mile. We don't only sit to wait disasters happening and we come out, like you're saying, silently we are working, but the results will shout later.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Okay. It's just like in about 1 minute now, I would beg for us to take a short commercial break. And when we do get back, we're still going to take you into the role of the Uganda Red Cross Society, because I'm sure they have a lot on their plate. And I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because it's helping us to demystify and discover in depth who they are, as opposed to only thinking they deal with emergencies.
Jerry con! Jerry con! Hey, Master Blaster! Touch him, man! Buy Jerry con with muscle! Those ones who say go for you only. Mundava! Best group is I teach you. But never go with the muscari. Because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's yes, you. What? Yeah? You step it on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refuse to give you enough meat. Show him that they don't joke with you.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. That thing that makes us different from everybody else. Where does it grow infinitely? Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts, in our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee, dairy farmland, and amazing maize fields. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. So you see, we are more than just a waving flag. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to improve the quality of life for Ugandans by creating sustainable jobs, businesses, and improving household incomes. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank. Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
The Resol Agribusiness Show is here under the theme Revolutionizing Agriculture through Value Addition, Innovation and Technology, scheduled for 13th to 16th June 2023 at Uhinga Stadium, Fort Portal Tourism City, with a free medical camp running throughout the show. Entrance is totally free. To sponsor, partner and participate, contact 0702 301 059 or 0773 458 492 or 0773 301 059.
isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the future of Uganda. And as a policy maker, the policies I enact today will protect her from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Welcome back from that commercial break. You're still watching You Health Chat, proudly sponsored by National Medical Stores. And today our topic of discussion is the role of the Uganda Red Cross Society. We do see them around, but sometimes we never get to know their role. Actually, some people out there do think that these are medical personnel. Of course, Osbert will demystify that and tell you the truth, because he's been sharing, and personally, I have learned some things that I didn't know in terms of their role. Osbert, still, yes, thank you for making time to come through.
I appreciate
Are
it.
you people, should they classify, because when they see you done the way you are, some people say, Ababasao.
It's not true. That of course bwagamba nti musawo waliwo n'abasawo b'ekiganda nabo basawo, but of course I know what you're meaning, the medical practitioners. Well, like I mentioned earlier, we have a department, Health and Social Services. That's where we find professional doctors that handles epidemics and pandemics and related stuff. But others are not basawas per se. But if you get choked by a bone and they provide first aid, probably
you will appreciate
it could be called so. But anyway, that one aside, some of us are health workers while others are not. Yes.
Okay. Now, in terms of your membership, because when you talk about the 51 branches, I'm looking at it like you all over the country, you must really be having big numbers of staff.
I admit, it's very true. So you realize that I started by saying that the Uganda Red Cross is an indigenous humanitarian organization, but also it is a membership organization. What do you mean by that? That everyone in Uganda, out of the 45 million Ugandans, can be a member of the Red Cross. How do you come back another year, you do a renewal? But now a renewal is reduced. You come back another year, you do a renewal. But now a renewal is reduced to 2,000 for children below the age of 17. Then from 18 years to 30 years, the youth, those in secondary, those in universities, those in communities out of school, but you are between 18 to 30 years of age. For them, they pay 20,000 and 2 passport photos. Then after a year, when you're going to renew, you renew with only 5,000. And you become a registered member of the Uganda Red Cross, and we give you a membership card. We also give the membership cards. Then we have the adults who are above the age of 30. For them, they pay 50,000. They also give 2 passport photos, and then we do for them a membership card. Then after a year, these members renew with 20,000, the adults above the age of 30. Membership, we have between, okay, we have 450,000 members and volunteers across the country. Can you believe that? 450,000 members and volunteers across the country. Now, most of these come from our registered members and other volunteers within the communities where we operate. Of course, when you look at the nature of work we do, it's very big in the whole of Uganda. And realize that as the Red Cross, probably we are constrained by resources to have staff to do all that work. But we have these good Samaritans. Like our Secretary General, he usually calls them foot soldiers. Yes, that are ever on ground and they do work. Yes, they help us to save lives, to fulfill our mandate as a Red Cross. Then, on membership still, we have now the category of corporates. Corporate companies like UBC Television can register with the Uganda Red Cross as a corporate company. We have categories of gold, we have categories of silver, we have categories of bronze. Gold membership is at 5 millions. If you want to gold membership as from the Uganda Red Cross, you pay 5 millions as UBC, you become our corporate member. But you can also be a silver corporate member at 3 millions. But we also have those of bronze at 2 millions. Now, the corporate members, we don't give them membership cards. We give them certificates. Oh yes, and you join us, you help us to save the lives of Ugandans. Members sometimes ask questions. How do I benefit? What do I benefit to become a member? I've paid my money, and what am I getting in return? Basically, you have paid membership. It's like you have donated blood. When you donate blood, we give you a biscuit and a soda or mineral water just to replace the lost sugars. But it cannot be quantified with money, because I don't know how much, if we were to buy blood, how much it would cost. So if you become our member, one, you have joined us in the struggle to save lives of Ugandans. But also, you realize that where people meet, we usually have governance, leadership. So as Uganda Red Cross, we have governance. And governance is done by members. So members meet in different branches across the country. They hold elections. At the branch level, we have what we call the branch governing board. This is made up of the members about 30 years of age. We have different positions, the chairperson, blah, blah, and now these are elected by members. So you realize that if someone is interested in leadership positions, you become a chairperson of the branch governing board, treasurer, vice, secretary, among others. Then these ones later on vote what we call the central governing committee. And that one is also at the leadership level. Then members, in most aspects, when we have projects across the country and probably have some free time during the course of the week, you can always turn around and do some volunteer work. Much as volunteering, if we are to go into definitions, it means giving your time and resources, to work for free. But at the Red Cross, we appreciate that someone cannot work for free, that they need some incentive. They need some airtime, some transport, some lunch. So you realize that if a registered member of us would have some time and would want to join us and do some work, usually in their free time, you join us, you do some volunteer work, and then we pay you some small money. So that's partly something to do with the membership and how probably one can benefit from being a member. And it is on this point that I call upon Ugandans who are viewing us, and those who are not viewing us, they can be told everyone can come and become a member of the Uganda Red Cross. Visit a branch near you or register as a member across the country. If you're not so sure where you are, maybe you don't know where the branch office is, you can call our toll-free number we will direct you where you can register from. If you're around Kampala, visit us at Rubaga Road, or any division has an office, go there and register as a member. On this point, I also would want to demystify something that we have conmen who usually would want to, to con the members of the public that they are giving out jobs. And they ask you to pay membership via a mobile money. That if you want a job, you pay this and this much on this mobile number, and then we'll register you and give you uniform. Ugandans, that's totally wrong. Nobody should, ask you money to register, and you give them money via mobile money. Our members register from our branches, not anywhere. If it's not that, please don't accept. Those are conmen, and they end up stealing people's money, and you see someone crying, I paid my membership, I paid money for uniform, but you've never given me my job. Abubabi, those are thieves. So that's one of the challenges that we're facing on the side of membership.
Since you've talked about some of the challenges you're facing on the side of membership, I know, of course, one of their challenges is financial constraints, but how do you keep afloat? How do you keep going despite the challenges? Because they're not only in your area, everybody in their area or capacity does have challenges, but we do appreciate the role you're taking on to come on and support and save lives.
Yes. I still had some other part of membership that I wanted to talk about.
Please do. We have proceed to the challenges.
We have the youth. The youth, as the Uganda Red Cross, we have a lot for them. Youths. The youth from 0 to 30 years, we have links in schools, we have links in communities. What is a link? A link is a group of youth who come together, whether they're in a school. For example, we have around Kampala Central, we have Korora High School, we have Kampala High School, we have YMCA, we have Victoria University. Those youth from different universities and schools come together, form a group, and call it, for example, Victoria University Red Cross Club. And that's a school youth, school link. Other schools, communities, people form the same. So you realize that our youths, we have a lot for them. We usually do skills training for our youths. Train them in liquid soap making, jerry making, so that besides the knowledge acquired from school, you can also do some side hustle, like we call it in Uganda today. Oh yes. You have some office, but you also can do some liquid soap, and you said it as your side hustle. So we try to enrich our youth in different skills so as to be able to cope up. Those who have failed to get jobs can employ themselves through that way. So this makes it a more bigger reason why the youth outside there should come and join the Uganda Red Cross.
Do you also empower them with skills to become part of the team to serve in emergencies or volunteers?
Oh yes. We train them.
Do you specifically target a specific age bracket, or you target them within their links to be the, how should I say, like the experts on first aid within the school community?
Of course, we train school by school, link by link, but also usually group them together, have meetings with them, listen from them, and try to iron out problems here and there, and try to advise them. We are their counselors here and there. Surely we're doing a great thing with the youth. I also cannot forget to mention the idea of sanitary pads. We have a project that is called Keep a Girl in School as Uganda Red Cross. We appreciate that most of the female children of school-going age have the challenges of sanitary pads. So we are coming up with the idea of reusable sanitary pads. We have had people training in making the same in the past, but we are going an extra mile of coming up with an industry that will be manufacturing sanitary pads to be given to females or girls of school-going age to keep them in school. I think now you are seeing that we are not only dealing in disasters, we are doing quite a lot.
You're broad-based.
Yeah, broad-based.
Okay, now, okay, I believe, of course, with each and everything, there is a success story.
challenges?
Because the challenges you did talk about, okay, in about like 2 or 3 minutes, you might exhaust some of the other remaining challenges besides the financial, and the quack or the fake people going around and fleecing people of their money, deceiving them that they'll be part of that. What is one of the other major challenges you are encountered with?
One of the other major challenges I've encountered with is emblem misuse. Emblem misuse. We have a section of Ugandans, of course not all, who have made use of our emblem, the Red Cross, for their own personal gains. Someone has a personal car, but they brand it with a Red Cross sticker, so that whenever he's passing somewhere or what, the police might think that this is a Red Cross car, but actually it's not. Someone has a pharmacy, a clinic, a hospital, branded with the Red Cross. And you realize that if this person was treated wrongly from such a hospital, the mindset of the patient will think that it's the Red Cross that did it. So we have had campaigns, we have addressed the media, we have, in trying to inform the members of the public that the Red Cross is solely an emblem to be used by the Red Cross. We own it, and maybe the government ambulances and the army ambulances. But other members of the public, they are not allowed to use the emblem of the Red Cross. And we will continue to appeal everyone. It's now clear that if we get you with our emblem, using it on a private car, hospital, we take you to courts of law. But we're trying to be nice. We go there, we talk to them, and try to make sure that they understand us and change. And many have changed, but there are those that are still in the hiding, but we're still hunting on them. The struggle continues.
Wow.
On emblem misuse.
Wow. So now it's prestigious for them to associate with you. They had better pay and then get guided on how to do things the right way. Okay, now finally, what are some of the success stories you'd like to share with the person who's watching you right now?
The Uganda Red Cross, we have had a quite and tremendous number of success stories from Ugandans that we save on road traffic accidents. We have ambulances across the country on major highways. We have billboards that the public is now aware that in case of a road traffic accident, they call us. You find that our ambulances every time are busy. That is one of the success stories that we have had. In communities, in places that are prone to mudslides, people have appreciated what we do because we do timely response. Like I said, we first go and create awareness, prepare them, and we save lives. And after, when floods still happen, we go there, support them with non-food items. In refugee settlements, we have another project that we call the Cash Transfer Program. The Cash Transfer Program is where we appreciate that someone has lost a home, is homeless, but they were used to eating rice. They're used to eating sugar. So instead of giving them posho and beans like we used to do, no, we appreciate their dignity, give them some cash, and they go and buy what they want to buy. And people have appreciated that idea. Blood donation. Every other time there is a blood donation somewhere, people know that it is the Red Cross. Every time there is a crisis of blood, people will say, Red Cross, please come for our rescue. Oh yes. So you realize that we have built our brand by providing quality, sustainable humanitarian services, and the public has a lot of trust in us. That's partly what I can call one of the success stories that we have had as the Uganda Red Cross in providing humanitarian services and saving the lives of Ugandans. Yes.
Which category of your members have you really appreciated finally working with most? Because I know the youth are full of energy, but there might be, I don't know, I'll leave that to you. Which category can you say you would like to give credit to for having been very supportive in working with you?
I will not say either which category or what, but our volunteers. Our volunteers, whether old or young, they are doing a very recommendable job to the Uganda Red Cross. Like I mentioned earlier, our Secretary General called them food soldiers, that these people are there when we are not able to go there. By the time a building collapses in Iksenyi, before I leave office, a volunteer is there. So now we imagine if they were to wait for you to come. And this volunteer is trained in first aid, they know what to do. By the time something happens, they are everywhere. You find when they have saved the situation. Credit goes to our volunteers, whether young or old. I wouldn't want to say which category what.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Ospat, for taking time off to come and help us to understand and appreciate your services a lot better. Okay, I'm sure you've heard it all from Ospat. I'll not need to say it again. Now we truly do understand what they do. And I think it doesn't cost much for each and every one of us from wherever we are to join and become a member of the Uganda Red Cross Society. Yes. In one way or another, I'm getting to understand and to appreciate that what you pay for as membership is what goes back to come out and help the community in case of an emergency or a situation. An emergency can happen anywhere, or a situation can happen anywhere. Take this opportunity and utilize it. You know where to find them. That is for you who are based in Kampala. For those who don't, I believe when you go asking around or chatting in your area, you'll get to find out where they are located. That is all we had time for. Good night from me and Ospat. And I'll leave you or hand you over to just a few adverts here and there as you wait for Michael Jordan Lokoma to come your way with the 10 o'clock news. Good night.